Greece will go to the polls on Sunday in a referendum that could decide its future in the Eurozone. I'm joined here today by George Koumoutsakos, the Shadow Foreign Secretary, to talk about how we got here and the implications going forward. George, if you could talk a bit about, as a diplomat, how Greece's standing in the European community has been affected by the last few months of negotiations.
It has been definitely affected, negatively. I think that we're experiencing the worst moments of our status in the Eurozone and of course in the European Union as well. And it's a pity that a country that had made a strategic decision 36 years ago to be a member in the nucleus of the European Union and Europe now is in a position to ask actually the obvious, asking their citizens whether they want to stay or not in Europe, because the substance of Sunday's referendum is exactly this, whether we stay or not in the European Union.
As a former diplomat, now as a politician, when you look at the way that the Tsipras government has negotiated since January, can you see mistakes that were made that have led us to this standoff?
Henry, they did a lot of mistakes, a series of mistakes, I would say. First of all, the message, it was not clear. What was the objective right from the beginning? They have changed their minds several times during the negotiation period. The second mistake is that in their effort to get rid of the Troika scheme, they went up having a very complicated negotiation procedure. Of course, the Troika scheme had some very negative, I would say, very negative semantics, but in its essence, it was a rather simple way of negotiating at the technical level with the Troika, and then an almost immediate positive answer at the political level. But the Tsipras government chose a completely different way of negotiating, a very complicated one, and as the experience says, in very complicated negotiation, the part that is in a weak position is the small country that negotiates in a very complex negotiation. So that was the second mistake. And the third mistake, I think that comes from the fact that people who negotiated this agreement, they were people with no experience in international negotiations, in particular in European negotiations. So they didn't know, they couldn't understand, and that's why they didn't like.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to Sunday, of course, as a member of the opposition, you're campaigning for a yes vote, which the polls seem incredibly difficult to read at the moment. Could you sketch what you think might happen if there is a yes vote on Sunday, and what the possible outcomes are?
The yes will prevail, but I have some concern on the percentage that not only the yes or the no gets, because if there is a very tight result, then it will be difficultly interpreted politically. And we need to avoid, in this country, any situation that could lead from a polarized political situation to a problem at the social cohesion level.
On Thursday, Finance Minister Varoufakis suggested that he may resign if there is a yes vote. Do you think that the rest of the government would have to follow suit?
First of all, as Mr. Varoufakis is concerned, he's not credible anymore, because throughout this period he has said everything, the one and the completely contrary, without having the courage to publicly ask an apology. So as far as the government is concerned, no, the government has been a staunch supporter of the no vote. In case yes will prevail, in case yes prevails, then I think automatically, immediately, there is a legitimacy issue there for a government that has so strongly supported one thing and then people choose the other thing. So I believe that we should not, as opposition, even ask for a resign. They have to deal and cope with what the people will say.
Especially given they called the referendum in the first place.
Exactly. So they are going to be faced with a legitimacy challenge, and we should see how they will react on this.
Is there any possibility there could be some kind of national coalition government in the event of a yes vote to sort of bring together all the parties for the goodness of the country, or do you think that the political sphere is just too polarized for that now?
I'm convinced that the challenges, the importance and the depth of the political, economic and social challenges that Greece has to meet go beyond the strength of any and the possibilities of any political force here in Greece to handle it successfully. I think that at the end the logic will prevail, and we are going to build the necessary national consensus so that we are able to meet these challenges. And I hope that our generation, the new generation of people involved in politics, will work towards building this vitally needed national consensus.
George, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.